In tonight's Rewrite, we have a guest lecturer, Willard M. Romney, on the subject he knows better than anyone, political flip-flopping. He actually opened up about it in a very confessional way back in 2004 at a little-noticed breakfast with the Iowa delegation at the Republican National Convention. He was there to cheer on President George W. Bush's re-election over Massachusetts Senator and Vietnam War hero John Kerry. Romney, who avoided military service by hanging out in France while John Kerry was in Vietnam, made the rounds at the convention, getting to know the different delegations, preparing for his own future presidential campaigns, and specializing in lying about John Kerry. The slimiest liar of that campaign, Dick Cheney, who, like Romney, never found the courage to serve in the military, never mind fight in Vietnam, had falsely labeled John Kerry a flip-flopper, and Mitt Romney took his place in Cheney's chorus. Romney pretended to know more about John Kerry because Kerry's from Massachusetts. Here's a sampling of the Massachusetts governor's stand-up at the Iowa delegation breakfast.
Now, there's one export that some people would like to send from our state to yours. His name is John Kerry, and you've got keep him right where he is, right? You've got to know a good deal about him. It's interesting in politics. It's pretty much standard operating procedure that when you're running for office, you look at your opponent's record, you find some place where he or she has changed position, and you say they're a flip-flopper. And that's a pretty standard thing. But in this case, this guy really is. I've tried to think why it is that he has changed so often, why he finds it so difficult to come down on one side of an issue, instead sort of floats between both issues and both sides of things.
Okay, this is where it gets really good, especially if you're a shrink watching this. Psychiatrists have a term for what you're about to see. They call it projection and denial. And yes, I speed dialed one of the many shrinks in my phone to get that term, projection and denial. What it means is the patient projects his condition onto other people while denying that he has it himself. In this case, the greatest flip-flopper in the history of American politics is projecting his ailment onto John Kerry while in full denial that this is his own problem. Watch it now as a psychiatrist would, as Romney's explanation of what it feels like to be Mitt Romney at a microphone speaking to a political audience. Just close your eyes and imagine Romney on a psychiatrist's couch telling you all this.
And I think the problem for those who look at John Kerry, for those that don't understand how he can be so vacillating, it stems from the fact that he is very conflicted, that he is drawn in two different directions, very powerfully. If he's with an audience, he wants to identify with and satisfy that audience and will say what he thinks they want to hear. So he's trying to be on both sides. And as a result, he ends up not sounding like he can take a position one way or the other.
You know, after work, when shrinks are kicking back with a fine glass of wine and shooting the breeze, they refer to Romney's kind of projection with the more casual and more descriptive saying, if you spot it, you've got it. Romney did say something to his Iowa delegation audience that morning that I think we can all agree on, something that we can only hope all American voters can agree on.
You know, we laugh and joke about that kind of inconsistency and vacillation. And yet as we look at the times that we face, it's really not a joking matter when we think about the importance of leadership in our nation today. When we think of how broad the attacks are that America is enduring, we recognize how deep and strong a leader we must choose to lead the free world.